Welcome, kings and queens, to another episode of Unapologetic, your number one podcast. This is the show where kings and queens tell their legacies and on. So get ready for the gems to drop and pull up to the table because we're ready.
Ooh.
Who you bringing along with you?
Ooh.
And our babies are brilliant.
Yeah.
They are brilliant.
Sometimes too brilliant.
Man. Like that little homie.
Right.
Like that little homie.
Come on, man. Have a seat.
But they are super brilliant, and they are a reflection of us.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
We want to talk about our youth, and we want to talk about community, and people are shooting and they're doing this and they're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the symptom of a community that's bleeding out. We're bleeding out as a community, and we don't even. Sometimes we walk in.
Statement, girl.
Sometimes we walk in, and we don't even recognize. We moving so fast that we don't even recognize the person we walk past.
Mm-hmm.
They have fainted in their spirit. They standing up, but their countenance is on the floor. The inside of them is on the floor. They like dead men walking.
Yeah.
You look in their eyes, it's empty. They don't have any hope. If you was to ask them what they were good at, what they want to do, what their aspirations were, they don't have them. Life is beaten out of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So it's like, okay, how do we do the tangible things that have impact in the moment or where you can see it? But how do we work on the things that are intangible to break down the subcultures that live in our heads so that we can be sustainable as people moving forward? And that's a long-term process.
I was about to say, I think that's going to be about another 470 years.
Not really.
You know what I'm saying? But because the only reason why I say that is because we're hard-headed. Oh man, I'm talking about the saying, I can lead a horse to a water and that won't drink it, and we in the desert. And it's like, bro, if you don't drink this water, I might as well just eat you. I'm already
Go ahead now.
You hear me? It's like, right. I might as well just give me some jerky from you, pack it up, give me some water, and just find the next city or town. And I don't want to always think that way, but I ran into a lady just like your caliber, just older, that was a consultant. She did consulting for corporations. And she stated to me, and we were at a conference, beautiful soul, beautiful lady. And we was at a conference, and she was like, you know what? I don't really see too many young people like that here. And I was like, well, thank you. You know, and she was like, so I want to give you a word of advice. She was like, don't sit there and constantly try to wait for the perfect position, because sometimes you have to move around for a better angle. I said, what the hell? I said, man. And then I've never seen this woman again throughout the whole conference. Like, the lady was just a spirit and she just disappeared. So it was like, and ever since, they stuck with me. And you know, and I see that in the way you move within the community with certain organizations, certain people. And, you know, I'm be honest, be on Unapologetic. Everybody isn't good to work with. Like you said, watch your circle. You know what I'm saying? So it's a constant push and pull effect that I feel like we have to learn to balance out in our community.
That's true.
So how do we do that though? You know what I mean?
So speaking of people, you know, I have one of my spiritual mentors, spiritual mothers. She said early on, she be moving. She's so funny. She said, Marria, have you heard of the 5 people that you can't help? And I said, nah.
Nah, me either. That's get me some together.
You know, nah. And she said, there's 5 people that you can't help. Okay. And I said, you know, and in my little bright-eyed, bushy tail, like, everybody can be helped. You know,
Look, yeah, got your cape on with the boots.
she like, nah, you know, and then so she broke it down, and that's kind of how I move. And now it's not forever. This is a constant cycle, and people cycle in and out of this. This isn't a stop. It's more like a comma or a semicolon.
So it's always something.
Yes, yes. So the 5 people that you can't help is the person that don't want help. Right?
Number 1, yeah.
So it's the person that don't want help. They don't need it, they don't want it.
Right. Yeah.
It's the person that the next person, and I think sometimes I leave one on the table, but the next person is the person that don't want help from you. Right? So they might say, I need help, but I don't want help from you.
All right. Keep it real.
Right? And then there's the people that you come in contact with that say they don't need help, the people that say that they don't want help from you, and then there's the people that don't want help right now, right? It's the people that are not in the position like, yeah, I need it, but shoot, I ain't, you know. It's those, right?
I know a few people like that. I never really keep going.
It's like, you know, they don't want help, they don't want to help right now, right?
That's true.
And then it's the people, I know I'm leaving one on the table, Lord, but it's I know the final one is like the person that doesn't that you've done all you can do for them,
right?
And now you just kind of got to give it up to God, right? You've done all you could do, you've helped them as much as you can, but you just kind of got to give it to God. That is, you know, and like I said, there's one more. I always leave the one on the table. I always forget it
because that is a good
man. But I mean, there's literally like 5 people. You can look it up. But it's 5 people that you just can't help. And the problem with it is that you want to help them. When you think about your family members, you think about like that person that's on drugs. You like, but if you would just, and they like, no.
Yeah, man.
You know,
got them.
You know, and you just can't do much with it, right?
Yeah.
The person that you like, yo, I got the answers for you. I got this thing right here, and they like, I don't know, I don't want you to do it. You know, you know, then that's the part you have to navigate around those people, right? You have to keep it moving, and sometimes you just gotta be like, give it to God, but it doesn't mean that it's a period, right? Because that person who's not ready today could be ready 2 years from now.
Or tomorrow.
And that person, or tomorrow. Yeah. Or that person is not ready for you. God will send somebody else that they're ready for. It may not be you, right?
Right.
And so we have to be okay with knowing that we may not, we might throw out some seed, but we may not be the person that reaps the harvest of it, right?
Right.
We just gotta like keep moving in this process. And it's difficult, especially like when you want people to hear you and you want people to, you know, you're like, look, if you just, but that was it was so helpful because it allows you the peace and the grace. It gives you peace with yourself, but it gives you grace for others. Because whatever that is for you in that moment, somebody has given you that grace.
You just passing it on to the next.
You just passing it on. Because, you know, and then you have to
I like that.
Keep moving in your purpose, you know, and like going back to the middle, recalibrating, because it's not easy.
No, it would never be easy.
It's not easy.
You know what I mean?
But it's necessary. And collectively, we're the smartest people in the room. You know, like you know, unapologetically has this amazing podcast.
Right.
You know, like I can maybe set up a boo. You know, like, it's not my gift.
Right,
like,
right.
that's not what God, I guess you could force something,
But
like,
it's not going to be authentic though.
right,
So
yeah. Because that's not where God has put me. And it's, and then vice versa. You got to know where you end and others begin.
See, and I think that is the biggest issue of today, because everybody looks, dress, and acts like each other. It's weird. It's so weird how I take me and my kids, or me and my wife go out to a dinner or to a game, and the adults our age, my age, 33, 35, our generation, be calling each other bro, son, kid. I'm thinking these are kids. Their mannerism, how they act. I'm like, man, how old are you? 17? Like, man, that's a 33-year-old man. I was like, dang, he's my age. Like, so, then it's like, I see why I want to go out. I want to be around innovation, knowledge, something spontaneous is always going to keep me on my toes. And so it's like, but I don't want to shun out my other brethren and sisters,
right?
Because they're not at that level yet. But it's now, and you brought up a good point. Don't just leave a period. And I think that's what I was doing personally, trying to period that off and just move on. So I need to start commenting it down a little bit. So that was really helpful for me. But it's something that I see that you're changing with each youth, each person that comes in, because not all parents, know what the next move is. Like, okay, I know I'm in a right area because of these people, how they're talking, and I'm growing. But what else is there out there for me at Thredz? How else can, it benefit me, not just right now, but in the future? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that is what that type of energy you're putting out on a constant basis.
You know what? That's what we're trying to do. You gotta try to be impactful in the moment, right? As much as you can. But really, when we talk about, us being a equity advocacy organization or a community building organization, how do you build something?
Right.
By brick, right?
Right.
And it takes time. Now you build in sections, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
At one point you'll look and say, you know what, I got that wall built. All right.
Right. I get happy when I get the
right?
door on.
And then exactly. And then as you go through it, next thing you know, you got all 4 walls. Yeah. Then you got a door, you got windows, you got all this thing, and eventually you will have a house, right? But what we do is you got to build it one brick at a time. But social media will have us thinking that we have to be at this accelerated pace, right? Yeah. And it's not the case. And then sometimes when we're talking about vision, and building our community, it's not about self. Like I said earlier, it's about bringing somebody along with you.
Right.
So as you're building, somebody else is watching and growing and growing into what it is that their purpose is, right? And then you start to, now you got a person who's good at this and good at that, and
right,
coming together. Idealistically, that's how it should be. Now, the human level, like you don't be working sometimes.
Bro,
you be like,
it be killing me sometimes, because I'll be like how you said, man, you just want to just, like, I know you see these seeds I'm just putting in your hand, but you just keep dropping them. But sometimes I think I see what you mean. Sometimes just let them drop wherever that particular person wants to drop them. And it may sprout something that I may not see.
Right. But if you're
You know
not,
what I'm saying?
if you have to be, so it's a few things going on. And I did figure out what that fourth one was. The other one was. So the other piece of that 5 people that you cannot help is the person that's not willing to do the work.
Perfect. Yeah.
The person that's not willing to do the work.
Yeah.
I know what I need. We know we need to do work.
But I want you to do it though. Like, come on, bro. I'm not finna do this too. No.
Yeah,
No, I don't do it for my kids.
That might be the hardest one right there. Because they will show up to everything
and don't do nothing.
And you like, I mean,
that's
if you need some accessibility services, let me know, because we all about that life, right? You know,
right.
If you need some help, you know, we do not, you know, shame or anything like that. We all about helping you get to, you know, have that equity and get where you need to be. But if ain't nothing wrong with you and you could read, I'm gonna need you to read that document. I'm gonna need you to read that.